Happy Friday, FRIYAY, everybody, all my people, my truth seekers. I'm so glad you guys are here and ready to kick off an amazing weekend with you all. It feels like a Friday. I woke up today and was just like, yes. Just like how Monday was an extreme Monday, today is an extreme Friday. Extreme FRIYAY, if you will. Do you guys have any fun plans this weekend? I have literally no plans this weekend, and it feels amazing. Last weekend, obviously, was traveling. Everything got like super crazy all at once, so it's nice to just be home, get stuff done, work on some things, probably go to the beach, like do some fun Florida things since we are home this weekend. It is our time to be live. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Getter, and of course on Locals. And today is a very exciting day on the stream because, as promised, I have a massive announcement to share with all of you guys. It's going to be really hard for me not to just immediately blurt it out. It is coming, I promise. We have something to talk about first, and then we have our huge announcement. But I have been working on something literally for a year and a half at this point, and the day is finally here that I can tell you all about it. So I am super pumped for announcement day today. We've got a really big, exciting thing to talk about first, though, with all of the Russell Brand allegations and YouTube's response and everybody else on social media's response, and what that means for the future of due process, free speech, and more from a content creation perspective. I know you guys have been asking for us to talk about this for the last couple of days, so I'm really happy that we are ending the week on this very important subject. I know it's a little bit controversial, so if you guys have an opinion one way or another on what's going on throughout our conversation, as always, drop it over in the live chat, and especially if you guys are new around here and or just want to meet some people, let us know who you are and where you're watching from over in our chat. We are working on creating as much of a sense of a real community as much as we can through a screen here on our live stream every single day. People seeking truth, people willing to embrace a little bit of courage in our crazy world, and people willing to share goodness with others, to be good people. That is what we are all about here on the stream. It is also Johnny Diamond's birthday. So Johnny, happy birthday. I hope you have the best day ever. Thank you for being such a huge supporter of the stream and all of the stuff that we talk about. We are going to start things off today, as always, by saying hello and thank you to all of you guys for your support and get to know each other a little bit better. First things first, though, kicking things off by thanking our amazing friends over at Public Square for sponsoring the stream today. Public Square is a network of 65,000 plus small businesses in America that are all pro-family, pro-life, pro-freedom, and share your values. We've talked a lot as a society and culture over the last year or so how we can be more conscious consumers and voting with our dollars, supporting businesses that are going to support us and our values. And there is quite literally no better place on earth to find alternatives to the places that you are spending your money that you can feel a lot better about than right here at Public Square. I find the clothes that I buy and the jewelry that I wear, the woman who made my engagement ring connected through Public Square. Literally every type of business that you can possibly imagine is on this now publicly traded company's platform. You can check them out with the link I just dropped in my bio or at publicsq.com. And if you are a business owner of any kind, I don't care what your small business is, it needs to be on Public Square. Use that link that I just dropped in our live chat or download their app, Public SQ, to add your business and help support some really amazing people doing everything they can to change culture for the better. All right, let's jump over to the live chat and say hi to some people. Alexandra, you queen, you are always first up in our YouTube chat. So glad that you're here. You said, I asked my dad if he thinks about the Roman Empire, and he said he thinks about it 5 times a week. I've been asking all of the men in my life how often they think about the Roman Empire now, because my fiance said almost every single day. And the more I've really asked this question and unpacked it, I have found that more often than not, men closer to my age think about the Roman Empire a lot more than men closer to my dad's age. I think it also might be a generational thing. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but our dads and our granddads think about the Roman Empires less than our husbands, boyfriends, brothers, etc. So something worth noticing. Marnus, G-Fact, Los Ravosa are all here on YouTube. We've got Spellbound Bear and Evan is back. Hey, Evan, so glad you're here. Total Package is watching. Suits is here. You're guessing that my announcement is that I am pregnant. A lot of people thought I was announcing that I am pregnant and or already married. No, I'm not already married. Believe me, you will see all of the pictures on social media from my wedding day when it does in fact happen, and I will not even remotely be thinking about having a baby until after I am married. But interesting guess, Suits. We've got T Protocolist and GeekyTube Gaming and OD watching on YouTube. Lucinda's watching from the UK. Yes, Lucinda, I did see that letter and we are going to be talking about it. Life in a Littleish RV is here. Thank you so much for joining us. Ben, HWD, Rick, Madeline, and Orthodox Russ are all joining us on YouTube. So glad that you guys are here. Over on Rumble, John Best, Colleen Sue, TZ Patriot. We've got many others watching already in the chat. Make sure you guys introduce us if you are new around here. The Getter Gang, Nitty Witty, Magic Def, Gary Upchurch are all active in our chat so far. And over on Locals, happy birthday again to Johnny Diamond. We're so happy for you. Alex Padron, AJ, African Warlord, Crazy Cat Lady, Sabina, and more. Guys, I love you all so very much. I said this yesterday, but it bears repeating again. It's just crazy to me that I get to spend so much time with you every single day. And someday I hope that I get to put a face to the name for every single one of you people. I've been very fortunate to meet some of you in real life, IRL. But it is crazy to me that, like, when you grow up, the people that you spend time with and what you do for your job totally changes who you get to spend the most time with. So I don't talk to my siblings every day, for example, but I get to talk to you guys every single day, which is such a huge blessing. And I'm so unbelievably grateful that my job involves spending time with some really phenomenal people for hours on end every single day. All right, you guys, let's jump right into the subject that I want us to cover before our big announcement. So hang tight. Don't go anywhere. We're going to not have a super long stream today, but I did want to make sure we talked about this before the end of the week. There is a really interesting story coming out in the content creator world related to freedom of speech and continuing to make a livelihood on social media. I am a fully independent content creator. What does that mean? It means I am streaming right now from the spare bedroom of my apartment. I don't make a lot of money from this live stream. We have a handful of sponsors that help make sure that we have equipment and that I can pay my rent, but I'm certainly not funded by like a multi-million dollar media company and have an endless budget to be promoting all of these channels. It's why we're growing a little bit slowly, but we are growing based completely on grassroots involvement from all of you guys. Every single time you hit follow or subscribe, or you choose to share the stream with somebody in your life, or you happen to share one of my Instagram or TikTok videos, that means the absolute world to the content that we are doing. And as an independent content creator, I can tell you that your access to be able to put all of your content on the internet and, more importantly, monetize that content is hugely important. For someone like me that has less than 20,000 subscribers on YouTube today, that doesn't really mean a lot of money. That doesn't really mean my entire livelihood. I make more money from the sponsors that help make this stream possible and keep it independent, which I think is hugely important, than I do from monetization, especially somewhere like YouTube. But for someone who has millions upon millions of subscribers, monetization is really the entirety of your livelihood. It's what allows people to employ video editors or people to help them run their channel. It's what allows them to continue growing their channel. Monetization based on views is really the name of the game for making a living in the content creation space. And comedian slash actor slash content creator Russell Brand is coming onto the international news scene this week from this topic's perspective of monetization in a really troubling, very concerning way for most of us content creators on the internet. This is a very unprecedented story for all of the wrong reasons, but one that is absolutely worthy of our consideration and a discussion today. So if you agree with anything that I say, drop it in the chat. If you disagree with anything that I say, drop it in the chat. But I, for one, am deeply disturbed and afraid for the future of independent content creators like myself and, frankly, like Russell Brand, or a Dave Rubin or a Glenn Greenwald or any of these individuals who are truly independent and not owned by a multi-million-dollar media company being silenced because they speak out against the most popular things to say. If you're not already familiar with the story, I'll give you like the overall 30,000 foot description of what's happening right now. YouTube has been totally slammed this week, and this is what I kind of want us to focus on, but let's zoom out a little bit. They demonetized Russell Brand's channel because Russell Brand, comedian slash actor slash former partner to Katy Perry slash independent content creator slash lifestyle guru, he wears a lot of different hats just like me, has been alleged to have sexually assaulted several different women. 4 women came forward and spoke anonymously to Channel 4 and The Times in the UK. They specifically accused him of sexual assault and sexual abuse, which is a very serious allegation, should absolutely always receive the fullest investigation possible to make sure those allegations are serious and are real. To be abundantly clear, though, he has not been arrested for any of these allegations. He has not been charged with a crime for any of these allegations, and he certainly has not been convicted of a crime for any of these allegations. In fact, he denies these allegations vehemently. These 4 women came forward, again, anonymously to Channel 4 and The Times in the UK, and specifically went public with accusing him with disturbing allegations of both rape and sexual assault. He vehemently denies all of these allegations that came from a 16-year-old girl when he was 31 as one of the allegations, and there are others as well. But he has not been arrested. He has not been charged with any crime. He has simply been alleged to have done something. And again, I will bear repeating, I am 100% in the camp that if you are accused of sexual assault, you are accused of sexual abuse, or really even any just sexual harassment or impropriety, this is a massive concern and absolutely should be investigated to the fullest extent possible, because these types of crimes often do go underreported because women are afraid to come forward. Women are afraid to share their story. Women are afraid of the backlash for these things. And often years can go by before a woman does make an allegation that was 100% true. I'm not at all saying that this is one of those situations. We don't know that yet, but it is not uncommon for women to come forward late to the game and say, this did happen to me. I didn't come forward because of XYZ, because of this reason, because I was afraid, because I thought I would lose my job, because I thought there was going to be all these backlash, etc., etc., etc. So always investigate these allegations. But there has been an almost immediate, universal, unilateral, swift action within the culture of the United Kingdom. And those of you guys who are watching in the UK right now, I'd be very curious to know what's being said in your circles about this story right now. Related to the Russell Brand allegations, essentially confirming that any allegation holds the same weight for your social standing and your participation in society as the conviction of a crime. Since when do we allege that someone committed a crime and someone did something terrible? We don't charge them with any of these crimes officially. We don't arrest them for any of these crimes officially. We certainly don't convict them under a jury in a court of law for any of these crimes that they've been alleged by. And then all of a sudden we're just like, yeah, you did it, or we think you did it, so you don't get to be a normal member of society anymore. I've said it before. I will say it again many, many, many times until the cows come home, until people realize how bad this truly has become. We no longer live in a free society in the Western world. We just don't. If you being guilty in the court of public opinion instantly means that you are guilty in a court of law before you've even been charged with a crime, before you've even had handcuffs put on you, before you've ever sat before a judge or a jury, then there really is no distinction or differentiation between you being innocent or guilty. And I've seen this really troubling shift in the legal world. You guys know I'm a huge legal nerd. My parents are both lawyers. I got into law school. I chose not to go because my career was going in a different direction, but have always been a huge legal nerd. Really, since the Derek Chauvin trial, the police officer who was convicted of murdering George Floyd, I've seen this really troubling shift in American judicial questions and in our judicial system that being guilty in the court of public opinion is just as horrible as being guilty in a court of law, that instantaneously everyone's opinion of you means far more than any conviction actually does. And I think we're starting to see that same troubling shift take place in the United Kingdom, in the European Union, and all over the world. All of a sudden, the media and the loudest voices in positions of power, even independent media platforms, where you'd think someone like Russell Brand might have an opportunity to tell his story in a bit more of a fair playing field, because he himself is an independent content creator, all of a sudden, those most powerful people that control the information get to control what you think about it based on how they respond. Daily Mail described this whole situation as Russell Brand being crucified and martyred in the court of public opinion, because since these anonymous allegations have come forward in the last few days, every single person in a position of power has essentially come forward and been like, that's terrible. We should just never let him exist in society ever again. Well, he hasn't even been charged or arrested, let alone convicted. But YouTube really decided to make history in this whole situation by demonetizing Russell Brand's channel because of troubling behavior that harms our users off of the platform, based solely on allegations, not based on any conviction of a crime. He has over 6 million subscribers on YouTube, and they came forward and put out this statement saying that he can stay on the platform, but he cannot monetize any of his content. He does not have the right to earn money via any advertising on his popular channel, and they are not backing down. Again, if you are an independent content creator and monetization is how you make a livelihood, especially for someone that has millions upon millions of subscribers on platforms like YouTube, this is a massive, massive financial blow to someone like Russell Brand. I think if you're not a creator yourself, it's difficult to understand the full extent of what being demonetized actually means. But knowing what I know about the world of social media, we are talking about an astronomical amount of money that someone should be making because they're still allowed on the platform. They could have done something wrong, but we don't know if they did anything wrong yet because they haven't been convicted of any crime. They're being cheated out of that because platforms like YouTube are trying to virtue signal instead of actually follow the court of actual judicial systems instead of the court of public opinion. It's a really insane situation that is starting to blow my mind. But if you think that's crazy, it got even crazier one step further. The actual Parliament of the United Kingdom decided then, well, if Russell Brand got demonetized on YouTube, he should get demonetized everywhere. And we are going to write a letter as the UK Parliament to platforms other than YouTube to try to get Russell Brand demonetized as a UK citizen because his allegations are so serious that we have to take these things seriously and help keep people safe on and off of these platforms. So the UK Parliament decides to write an official letter to Rumble, which we are live on right now. Shout out. Hi, Rumble. We love to see that. Saying that they needed to demonetize Russell Brand just like YouTube did. Of course, we love Rumble. We stan Rumble. And Rumble came back and responded by saying, absolutely not. We're never going to do that. And The Independent ended up writing this article about 8 hours ago about the whole situation. Rumble releases explosive letter defending Russell Brand against the cancel culture mob after YouTube income loss. We're going to read the letter together because I think it's really powerful, but just to paint a picture of what's going on. The video streaming site Rumble has criticized the chair of a parliamentary committee in the UK for writing a letter asking it to suspend Russell Brand from receiving advertising revenue on its platform. On YouTube, we know Russell has over 6 million subscribers. On Rumble, he has about 1.5 million followers, same as subscribers, and used the platform to post his preemptive denial video after being approached with allegations of rape, sexual harassment, and abusive behavior by different news organizations. In a statement posted on Twitter, Rumble said its chief executive, Chris Pavlovski, has received an extremely disturbing letter From Dame Caroline Dinenage, chair of the Culture, Media, and Sport Committee in the Parliament of the UK. The letter asked Chris, the CEO of Rumble, to confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content on Rumble, and if so, whether Rumble intends to join YouTube in suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. We regard it as deeply inappropriate and dangerous that the UK Parliament would attempt to control who is allowed to speak on our platform or to earn a living from doing so, the statement from Rumble said. We empathetically reject the UK Parliament's demands. We're going to read this letter in totality together, but I just thought it was such a powerful response because since when should a governing agency, a parliamentary body, a basically congressional group of elected officials start to dictate to private companies who aren't even headquartered in their own country who they are allowed to monetize or not monetize on their platforms? We are seeing the very, very scary results of what happens when government feels too empowered to take action based on the behavior of private citizens and allegations, not even convictions, of the behavior of private citizens. And this has gone way too far in the realm of content creation. They said, today we received an extremely disturbing letter from a committee chair in the UK Parliament. While Rumble obviously deplores sexual assault, rape, and all serious crimes, and believes that both alleged victims and the accused are entitled to a full and serious investigation, it is vital to note that recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with content on Rumble's platform, which is just objectively true. Just yesterday, YouTube announced that based solely on media accusations, it was barring Mr. Brand from monetizing his video content. Rumble stands for very different values. We have devoted ourselves to the vital cause of defending a free internet, meaning an internet where no one arbitrarily dictates which ideas can or cannot be heard or which citizens may or may not be entitled to a platform. We regard it as deeply inappropriate and dangerous that the UK Parliament would attempt to control who is allowed to speak on our platform or to earn a living from doing so. Singling out an individual and demanding his ban is even more disturbing given the absence of any connection between the allegations and his content on Rumble. It's not like there's like an illicit sex tape being posted all over Rumble confirming these allegations or leading to a criminal conviction. It's Russell Brand talking about like what food you eat and how you should meditate. We don't agree with the behavior of many Rumble creators, but we refuse to penalize them for actions that have nothing to do on our platform. Although it may be politically and socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. We empathetically reject the UK Parliament's demands. So I feel extremely concerned with the future of content creation for individuals. I feel really concerned with what this means for a government's ability to implicate an individual with the complete unilateral loss of their livelihood based solely on allegations or what the court of public opinion seems to think of you. It's extremely concerning that YouTube, the largest single video platform, which we are live on right now on the internet, has the capacity to just decide they believe what somebody else says about you in our extremely divided, angry, and vitriolic culture, and decide that you are not allowed to make a hard-earned living as a content creator on their platform, no matter what type of content you are even sharing on the platform. This is an extremely dangerous precedent. And when we talk about the future of free speech, particularly the future of free speech in the digital space, which very easily to me is proven to be the public square of our modern society. The public square isn't going and standing on a street corner or standing on top of your soapbox. It's putting something out on Twitter. It's posting a video to YouTube. It's reacting to something on TikTok. When all of a sudden we can decide that the public square can be regulated unilaterally with no opportunities for appeals by random individuals in back rooms in corporate offices and cubicles that have no accountability for the decisions that they are making whatsoever, that's a really concerning place for us to be in. all of that to be said, due process still matters. And when I say due process matters, that actually goes both ways. Due process in allegations and situations like this not only involves the presumption of innocence until you are proven guilty, which Russell Brand is absolutely 100,000% entitled to, but it also does mean taking these allegations seriously and doing investigations about them. Am I concerned that we've seen a massive rise in sexual assault allegations that ultimately are proven to be untrue for certain people who are outspoken in the political space? Yes, absolutely, 100,000%. And accusing someone without evidence, as Colleen just said in our Rumble chat, really doesn't sit well with me. But these accusations always need to be investigated, because otherwise this does happen behind the scenes far too often and goes under our radar far too often. Our culture is really obsessed with covering this stuff up. Look at, for example, child sex trafficking. And how California is totally content in letting sexual predators out of prison, but they do want to make sure you could go to prison if you go to church during COVID lockdowns or you keep your small business open. So there is definitely a government refusal to actually deal with sexual assault and crimes of a sexual nature. And that's not true just in America. That's true all over the world and needs to be investigated. However, due process goes both ways. It is a two-way street, right? If we are giving due process to these individuals with these allegations and investigating these allegations to the fullest extent possible, that also has to extend to Russell Brand with the presumption of innocence until he is proven guilty. And he probably, in my opinion, will never be proven guilty based on what I know about these particular allegations. But this all goes to say that these social media and long-form video platforms have to make a decision. And ultimately, they're telling us what their decision is now in decisions to demonetize people who just receive allegations for negative behavior. But they have to make a decision whether or not they believe you are entitled to have opinions, even if you are a bad person. I say all the time, I am nothing but a free speech absolutist. I believe that the only way to beat bad speech, the only way to defeat bad ideas, the only way to silence true evil in society is not by silencing it. It's not by banning it. It's not by putting a gag order over it. It's by dragging those bad ideas into the light and confronting them with better ideas, disproving evil with goodness, treating lies as lies and replacing them with the truth. It's a really harsh reality to wrap your head around sometimes, especially in our kid gloves society that is constantly trying to tell people that they should be in a safe space away from all of these bad ideas that doesn't sit well with them, that makes their heart start to race, that makes them really uncomfortable. But there are always going to be actual racists in society. There are always going to be actual misogynists and sexists in society. There are always going to be mean, horrible people with evil, bad ideas. And throughout history, we have seen this repeat itself over and over and over again. If you want to defeat these bad ideas, silencing those ideas, censoring those ideas, and putting them in the bottom of a dark closet somewhere, pretending they don't exist, only makes them continue to grow. The only way to defeat lies is with the truth, not by silencing the lie. The only way to defeat evil is with goodness, not by silencing the evil, but by dragging it out into the light and confronting it with morality. The only way to defeat bad ideas is with good ideas. So even people who are actual bad people, even people who have been convicted of crimes, in my opinion, should still have the opportunity to freely express their ideas, because the only way we can defeat the bad ideas is with good ones. We are in a really interesting tug of war, not just between bad and good ideas, but between lies and truth. And the more we indulge the opportunity for truth to be subjective, my truth being different from your truth and your truth being different from your truth, and everything is subjective, the more it is really scarily becoming real that allegations and convictions are exactly the same thing. And if we understand that, if you are alleged to have committed a crime, if there's an allegation brought up against you versus if you are actually convicted, if those are the same thing, the more we have to realize who the people in power are and who they want these allegations to be levied against. The people who control what products you buy at the grocery store, where your shampoo is manufactured, what posts get censored or pushed in the algorithm on here, who runs for president or prime minister in any one of your given countries, what information you receive, who creates school curriculum, those people are all much more intimately connected than you realize. And they all kind of have the same agenda at the end of the day. You will own nothing and you will be happy and you will get in line with the consolidation of power in the public and private sector all over the world into the hands of just a few individuals. And if you don't get in line, we can accuse you of anything we want for the purpose of you being silenced, for the purpose of a lack of civil discourse, for the purpose of preventing people from asking all of the right questions and fighting back. And it's extremely concerning to me that I'm seeing this pattern not just repeat itself, but escalate in Western civilization, that you can lose everything instantaneously simply based on what one person might allege against you, even if you've never even been charged, arrested, or certainly not convicted of a crime. It's up to us as free-thinking individuals, as citizens of countries like this, to continue demanding the truth. And if the truth happens to be that people get convicted of crimes, so be it. That's what due process and the justice system is supposed to be all about. That's what a criminal conviction is supposed to be all about. But we don't even want to get ourselves to that stage these days because we're far more obsessed with the allegation in the court of public opinion rather than a conviction in a court of law. If you're confused or frustrated or angry about the silencing and censorship of creators on social media for any particular reason, not just this particular situation, speak up about it. Tag all of these platforms in posts on social media, email them, submit help requests all over their website. Let them know that you, as a consumer of their product, are not okay with what is happening, and continue to support creators who are actively speaking out against the status quo, because we truly are inching closer and closer and closer, not to 2024, but to 1984. And it's a very scary reality that pretty soon lies will become truth. They already are right before our very eyes. That war will be peace or love or whatever we used to say in George Orwell's 1984, and that we continue to live in the upside down. Amazingly, there are phenomenal people continuing to fight the good fight and speaking out against it. All of you, for example, and what we try to do here on this live stream, but also from a generational perspective. I know Gen Z gets the brunt of all of the jokes these days, but I see this hunger and this excitement and this passion and a sense of purpose in our generation that is only continuing to grow and rise as we continue to grow up and come into adulthood. And I could not be more excited to see Gen Z continue to advocate for, to seek, and to fight for truth, which we continue to do every single day. I see it on college campuses. I see it in the content that I consume and that I create on social media. I see it when I talk to high schoolers or parents of high schoolers and teenagers. I see it when I visit church groups all over the world. This next generation is tired of being told a lie. We are tired of living in a simulation. We're tired of being told that we lack the wisdom and the knowledge and the opportunity to make a difference when we know that we can make a difference today. And with all of that to be said, I have a very exciting announcement for all of you guys. First and foremost, I want you to guess what the announcement is. If you want to drop anything in the chat, we're going to let some build up happen here, but I do have an announcement related to all of these things. African Warlord says, speaking of Gen Z in the locals chat, drum roll, says TZ76 Patriot. You guys had some fun guesses on my Instagram earlier today, but it is very exciting that I finally get to share this with you. I'm not pregnant, you guys. I'm not even married. No, not yet. Believe me, you will know when all of that stuff happens. Amy says an app. You've built a website. You're going to make mugs? You're cutting your hair? No. Speaking of Gen Z, I'm super excited to announce to you guys that I, in March, will be coming out with my next book specifically about our generation, Gen Z. We are going to be unpacking our unique cultural identity, what we have to bring to the table to fight for Western culture and civilization, why other generations seem to have a hard time understanding us and what those misconceptions tend to look like, and what we can do to rise to opportunities of leadership to continue fighting for our great American experiment. My book will be coming out on March 19th, 2024, and I will scooch over. It is called The End of the Alphabet: How Gen Z Can Save America. This is our amazing cover reveal. I am truly obsessed with it. Hachette Publishing did the most phenomenal job with the cover design and all of the fun graphics, and it has just been phenomenal working with this team. As you can see from the cover, really exciting to announce that Dave Rubin, host of The Rubin Report, wrote the foreword for this book. He is an individual that, like our generation, really does not fit into a singular box and has amazing things to share about his experience in the political and cultural world. And I'm hoping that when this book comes out leading up to the 2024 election cycle, we're going to have a lot to talk about and a big splash to make when it comes to a unique cultural identity for Gen Z. So again, my book, The End of the Alphabet: How Gen Z Can Save America, will be coming out on March 19th. 2024. It sounds so far away, but it's really not. Like, I'm gonna blink and March 19th will be here. And part of the reason that I'm able to share this announcement with you today is a very exciting thing to share, that pre-orders are actually already available for this book, for The End of the Alphabet. I'm gonna drop the link right now in our chat for you guys to go to our landing page here, and this is where you are going to be able to pre-order this book. It will be available quite literally anywhere you can buy books, and I will read you the description of The End of the Alphabet, but I'm going to drop our link right now for you guys to go pre-order it and check it out first. I'm just so excited. I truly have been working on this for like a year and a half. It's been forever and a day, writing and editing and doing all this stuff. So seeing it as an actual book with a landing page is just like the coolest feeling in the entire world to me. You can buy on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Bookshop, Target, Walmart. I'm still confirming where actual physical copies will be present, but very likely at like a Walmart or Target or Barnes & Noble near you. Amazon is obviously a really easy place to get it as well, and place your pre-order, but it is officially available for pre-order. Like, if you click on Amazon, it'll take you to where you can pre-order. It's officially coming out on March 19th. This title will be released on March 19th. Pre-order now, so it's definitely available for you guys. And here is everything you need to know. Today in America, we live in the upside down. Lies have become truth, while truth and those seeking it are silenced and vilified. Our nation desperately needs a generation to rise up and fight for the future and those who will come after us. And that generation is Gen Z. Gen Z has the power to change the world. As the largest emerging demographic in American history, Gen Z is at the center of a cultural shift, one that will define the direction of our country for generations to come. Intellectually curious, culturally courageous, and unafraid to push societal boundaries, Gen Z is ready to embrace leadership as the most educated generation in history. These young and often underestimated Americans are here to fight for a better future, and we won't wait for permission to lead. Rising content creator Isabel Brown is smart, driven, and passionate, a strong champion for truth in America. She fervently believes that Gen Z has the power, the potential, and the opportunity to define the cultural direction of America. The End of the Alphabet is a rallying cry for Gen Z to embrace traditional values in a new age way and step up to make our voices heard. Although taking an active role in culture and politics is nothing new for young people, today's youth face overwhelming pushback from older demographics. Looked down on by those who came before us as too young, too naive, and too unique to impact our society, Gen Zers are instead told to sit down and shut up until they have earned enough life experience to lead. This view of Gen Z is crippling and deeply ignorant of the cultural shifts we have and will experience in the coming decades as Gen Z begins to step into positions of power and leadership. So, who is Gen Z? What does the future of our nation and conservatism look like with Gen Z at the helm? Read this book to find out. It's just so exciting, you guys. I'm so stoked. I had the idea for this book so long ago, and I truly have been working on this for like over a year and a half. Lots and lots of early writing mornings, lots of editing, lots of rereading. I'm so happy with where the manuscript has come to land as we are sending it all off to the printers and to all of the design stage of everything. I just could not be more grateful to my agency team, to Hachette Publishing for taking a big leap of faith with this book, and to all of those who are going to support it and pre-order it and help to hype this up. You guys are all so excited in the live chat about it, and I'm going to answer a couple of questions about the book, so if you have any, go ahead and drop them in our live chat. But I hope you were excited about our announcement today. I had a lot of build up to everything that we were going to talk about, so I hope this was more than enough excitement for you guys going into the weekend, and I really hope that you guys are all going to love reading the book. Obviously, it's one thing to write a big long manuscript, but it's another thing entirely to read a book, so I'm hoping that you guys absolutely love it. Some of you guys did guess right. Lucinda, Jamie, Kayla, good job. Very, very well done. Everybody's asking if this is going to be available internationally. It will be. I'm actually not sure where the easiest place for you guys to purchase it internationally will be, but yes, try Amazon first, probably. That's probably the easiest place to get it shipped overseas, but we'll confirm with my publisher and let you guys know for sure where the easiest place, because I know we have a ton of international people on the stream, where the easiest place for you guys to buy. Tommy, thank you so much for your donation in our YouTube super chat, and Alex, thank you so much for your donation in our locals super chat. I'm so grateful for you guys. Total Package wants to know if I am doing / reading the audiobook. That is the plan. So if you like the sound of my voice, which I personally do not, I personally hate the sound of my own voice, you too can listen to the audiobook. That's exactly what my fiance will be doing, because he hates reading words on paper but loves listening to audiobooks. So very, very exciting stuff. Everybody's saying all these fun things in our chat. I want to make sure I'm answering any other questions that you guys might have. Nitty Witty, I love this. So Gen Z is very much the end of the alphabet. Yes, and this is what I really wanted to tell you guys about this particular book, why I chose the title that I did, and what message I really want to convey to everyone. I find it not ironic in the slightest that our generation happens to be the letter Z at the end of the alphabet, because we also are at a time in history that kind of demands the end of life as we know it. We often hear from those older than us or people in positions of political power or talking heads on television that Gen Z is destroying America. Like, Gen Z is the end of life as we know it. They're destroying everything that's so good and beautiful about our country or our culture. And the truth is, we are maybe the end of life as we know it, but that might be a really beautiful, positive thing. If you look around at what life as we know it really looks like in September of 2023, it's really awful, to be honest with you. It's incredibly divisive. We are financially struggling insanely all over the world and don't feel like we have financial security for our futures. We feel like we lack the opportunity to make a difference as an individual, because it often feels like the system, education, politics, entertainment, etc., is rigged against us. We're losing faith in our dating lives, in our marriages, and in our families. We're refusing to see the light at the end of the tunnel more often than not. And I, for one, am very sick and tired of seeing negative headline after negative headline after negative headline talking about how the demise of the world is upon us, when in reality, maybe changing life as we know it, maybe changing culture in a really different and exciting way, going back to traditional values, but in a new age futuristic way, is exactly what this country and Western civilization needs in order to be saved from our own demise. So yes, we are the end of the alphabet, just like the title of this manuscript, but maybe the end of the alphabet and the end of life as we know it might be a really beautiful change that our culture and society very desperately needs. I'm so glad you guys love the name of the book, and I hope you love the cover. They did such a phenomenal job. Dave Rubin wrote the most beautiful foreword for the book, and I know you guys are absolutely going to love reading it. And on March 19th, 2024, you guys will all have the opportunity to read this manuscript, get to know me and my story a little bit better, learn a lot more about our generation and how we can continue to change culture for the better, and maybe challenge, if you're not a Gen Zer yourself, your own preconceptions about who we are and what we have to bring to the table. Because the truth is, there's no reason to have anything but hope for Gen Z at the helm of the conservative movement, of traditional values, and of the future of Western culture and Western civilization. I'm so happy that I got to share this announcement with you guys, and thank you so much for all of your ongoing support of all of my content, all of the things that I'm working on. It's just really cool to see another book come to fruition when you get to hold your own book in your hand. I felt the same way about this one that I self-published. It's a really, really phenomenal feeling of all of the hard work that you've put in over the last 2 years, basically, to get to that point. And this is really only the beginning for a lot of very exciting announcements and growth and opportunities to tell the truth that I can't wait to share with you guys some more. Thank you so much for kicking your weekend off with us today. We are going to jump over to Locals for our post-stream Q&A and talk a little bit more about the book and all kinds of other very fun stuff. If you guys are interested in getting more content that only exists in one place, it is over on Locals, where you can get to know me better, you can get to know each other better. We're going to start organizing some in-person IRL meetups, which I'm very excited about, and it is a great place to make that sense of community feel a little bit more tight-knit. So come on over to us over on Locals with the link that I just dropped in our chat. And before you go, and I hope you have the most phenomenal weekend, do me a huge favor and smash that follow or subscribe button wherever you are watching. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and Getter. It means the absolute world every single time you guys hit the like button on these streams. That could be a little thumbs up or a little heart button when you ring our notification bell to make sure you always know when we are going live or uploading new videos. And of course, continuing to grow the channel by smashing that follow or subscribe button. Nowhere to go but up. All kinds of very, very exciting things right on the horizon for this community. And truly, from the bottom of my heart, I am so deeply grateful for every single one of you supporting all of the things that I do, whether it's a 15-second video, pre-ordering my new book, which is so crazy that I get to say that publicly, or tuning into a stream. Every time you guys are able to help boost this content and all of the things that we are doing, the more of a difference we can make for the better, for the future of our culture, for our generation, and more. So very grateful for every single one of you, and I hope someday I get to give a big hug to all of you individually as well. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Getter. I hope you enjoyed today's announcement about my new book, and please, 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 all of you go pre-order so that it can come to your house right on launch day. Use that link I dropped in our live chat, or I'll be putting it in the bios of all of my social media. We will be back on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern for the rest of the stream. Jump on over to Locals for our post-stream Q&A here in just a second, and Locals, don't go anywhere. Have a great weekend, you guys.